skipping it. Kelly for the win. Maryland takes down number 1 Virginia.
Handoff goes to Littleton rather quickly. Littleton breaks through into the secondary. Littleton's got room to run. He breaks through. He's at the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Antoine Littleton.
Hart, nice move. Step back three, Hakeem Hart. Oh my goodness! Hakeem Hart just broke the Wisconsin defense and drilled a 3.
There's a dish inside May. Jump shot and she scores. Libby May with her 4th goal of the game. And the Terps have their largest lead. It's now 10-6 Maryland.
Johnston takes the kick and chips it home. Into the right-hand corner. An easy goal for Johnston. His 2nd penalty kick goal in as many weeks. And the Terps pull ahead 3-2 with just under 21 to play here at Ludwig.
Now Sam Hoiberg driving in, deflected and stolen away. Collected by Scott. Young coming in, lobs for Scott, who hammers it home. Dante Scott from Jameer Young, and Nebraska needs a timeout.
10 on the shot clock now. Jack Brennan left out. Brennan shot, rips it to the top right corner. Jack Brennan flexes at the Maryland bench. They go up by 5. Running back blinking Finley. First down, looking to throw, sending it deep down the field. It is intercepted by Jacorian Bennett. Jacorian Bennett might have just put the Duke's Mayo Bowl on ice for the Maryland Terrapins.
Just over a decade ago, the Maryland Terrapins Athletics Department moved from the ACC into the Big Ten, and with that conference move, losing many of its historic rivalries. But every once in a while, you get a matchup. Teams come back, matchups get put together where those rivalries are renewed. That's exactly what we have here today at John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, Virginia. Today, Maryland men's basketball taking on number 23 Virginia Cavaliers in the 185th meeting between the Terps and the Hoos. It's a rivalry renewed, and we go down Route 29 to make it happen. Maryland men's basketball against Virginia on WMUC Sports. Well, hello from Charlottesville. Alongside James Consoli, I'm Ryan Martin, getting excited for this one between the Cavs and the Terps. James, first time these two teams have met since that 2018 season. Now it's back the first of 4 games, and what a great environment we have here down in Virginia.
That's exactly right, Ryan. On top of that, too, this is an over 100-year rivalry between these two spots. You and I talked before this, and their first game was in 1913, where both these squads faced off, and Maryland was actually Maryland Agricultural College at that point. They ended up losing that one 65-1, but it just shows you that that first game between these two historic programs was pre-World War I. So if that gives fans just a glimpse of how long these two programs have been facing off and the intensity of this rivalry tonight at John Paul Jones Arena, I don't know what will.
Maryland Terrapins coming into this game 6-5, losers of 2 straight, including a week ago today, losing to number 2 Michigan at home, 101-83. So the Terps a game above 500. Meanwhile, for the hosts, Virginia Cavaliers ranked number 23 in this week's AP poll, 9-1 on the season for a Virginia team that's won 4 straight games, and this will be the second of 3 straight games that Virginia plays against a Maryland opponent. Last time out, picked up an 84-60 win against UMES. That was 11 days ago, so a nice long break for first-year head coach Ryan Odom and the Cavaliers. They'll play Maryland and think about hosting American School from D.C. this Monday. On the road, James, for Maryland men's basketball, going and looking for its first ranked win of the season. This is a great Cavs team, and for a Maryland team that will be without its best player too. There's no Pharrell Payne after the injury he sustained a week ago.
Yeah, tough for the Terps to see that. Obviously, you see the front court presence of the Hoos down low on those blocks. Maryland's looking to not get beat up. We'll see what happens tonight. Like you mentioned, Pharrell Payne coming out in that number 2 Michigan matchup last Saturday, so the Terps 7 days off from their last action. We're going to have to see what what's in store for the Terps, what they can do on the low blocks. That's what I'm looking for tonight, Ryan.
There's no Pharrell Payne, Maryland's leader with 18 points, 7 rebounds per game. Also plays a team high 27 minutes per game. Maryland will also be without freshman guard Guillermo Del Pino. He misses a second straight game. So your starting lineups, let's start with the hosts for Virginia. It's the same starting five that first-year head coach Ryan Odom has had all season. Malik Thomas at the point guard, Sam Lewis the shooting guard, Dallin Hollis at the 3, Tess DeRitter at the power forward spot, and at center, Johan Grunlow. For Maryland, it's a new starting five. The first time we see this backcourt pairing start this season. Miles Rice, the point guard. Diggy Coit, the shooting guard. First time we've seen Coit and Rice both in the lineup together to start. George Turkson Jr. at the 3, Solomon Washington at the 4, and the former Virginia Cavalier, it's Elijah Saunders at the 5. Into the middle, it's Solomon Washington for Maryland, and for Virginia, Johan Grunlow. Ball is thrown up, tipped Maryland's way, and this one's Terps' ball to start. Brings it up with Miles Rice as the point guard. Terps going from right to left in the away black uniforms, red numerals, red trim. Virginia in the alternate orange numerals, blue numerals with white trim. Miles Rice goes to the right side. He'll try a mid-range shot at the right elbow. It's too strong. Rebound goes to Virginia. Here comes Dallin Hall on the breakaway. Virginia's first possession. The Who's 9-1 on the season, winners of 4 straight. Ball's in the hands of Tess DeRitter. He's at the right elbow looking for the first points of this game. Spin move, right-handed layup, no good. Rebound up for grabs towards the near baseline. It goes out of bounds, and the whistle will point Maryland's direction.
Already, Ryan, you can just see bodies flying so far. It's going to be a physical game, and this one's going to go in Maryland's way, like you mentioned. So, strong defensive stand from the Terps, and like I said, people are flying across the court.
Both teams missed their first field goals of the day. Miles Rice can't hit for Maryland, and Tess DeRitter, the freshman out of Brachet, Belgium, can't hit for Virginia. Cavalier
leading this team in scoring so far with 16 points per game for the Who's.
Here's Miles Rice again. He's into the starting lineup for the 3rd time out of 8 games played. Takes a right screen from Turkson, works past top of the key to the right corner with Solomon Washington. The big man starts his dribble, working against Sam Lewis. Swings around to Diggy Coit, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Screen coming from George Turkson, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Coit gonna have to get up a shot. He's just gonna lose possession, and the ball will trickle out of bounds towards the near sideline, right in front of the Virginia bench. A lot of claps for a Maryland turnover.
That effort there from Grunlow. This is a guy that we usually see down low on the blocks. Second in the ACC in blocks with almost 3 per game. He leads this Virginia squad, but out there he's playing perimeter defense.
7-foot center picks up a steal. Scoreless, a minute 15 seconds in. Here's the second possession of the day for Virginia. Dallin Hall calls out the play, the graduate transfer from Utah. Bounce past the top of the key, he finds it with Malik Thomas. Here's Virginia's point guard. Over to the left side, to Tess DeRitter, into the paint, right-handed layup off the glass, no good. And a whistle will be on the ground. Looks like it'll go against Maryland. First foul of this game.
Yeah, that one looked like Saunders was on the block. Just a little shove in the back against DeRitter, and so that one's as clean as it comes.
All right, it's the first foul of this game. Goes against the former Virginia Cavalier, Elijah Saunders, and Maryland. Cavs 0, Maryland 0, a minute and a half in. Inbound goes into the hands of Sam Lewis. Pass to the left corner, Malik Thomas triples up in the air, it's too short. Takes one bounce in play and then touches the baseline. This was gonna stay with the Cavaliers, even though it was Dallin Hall who was grabbing the right shoulder of Miles Rice's jersey. You can see that all the way here in section 107. So who's possession? A fresh 20 on the shot clock. Inbound goes to Lewis. He finds a teammate in Johan Grunlow. The center dribbles it up to the top of the key and passes over to Dallin Hall. He works down the right wing. Now towards the left wing, right-handed layup, reverse, it's good for the first 2 points in this game. Virginia 2, Maryland 0, 2 minutes in. Here's Diggy Coit, coming off a great performance against Michigan a week ago. He had 31 points, playing a game-high 38 minutes. Pass over Solomon Washington, spin move, right elbow jumper is too strong. Rebound goes to Virginia with Sam Lewis. Here comes the Who's from left to right. Hall, top of the key. Picks up his dribble on the left wing, looking for a teammate. Good defense from Maryland. Back over to Hall, down left wing, an alley-oop and slam home. Johan Grunlow. Grunlow adds his first bucket. Virginia 4, Maryland 0. just under 3 minutes in. And as easy as they come, and you can credit the assist to Hall on the alley-oop. Diggy Coit waits the screen on the left side from George Turkson Jr. Now works down the left side. Left baseline, puts up the floater. It's too short. Rebound goes to the 7-foot center, Johan Grunlow. And here come the Cavaliers. In transition, Sam Lewis down the left wing. Near the paint, back out to Grunlow. At the left wing, he gets it back to Sam Lewis. Spins it around to Dallin Hall. Blues have scored the first 4 points in this game and look to add on. Picked up by Grunlow. Gets it back to Hall with 9 on the shot clock. A defensive miscue. This one spun around to the left corner. Into the hands of Thomas. Goes up amongst the trees. His layup doesn't hit anything. Rebound goes to Maryland. George Turkson Jr. starts to break. Gets it to Miles Rice. Going from right to left. Rice slows things down. Indiana transfer calls out the play. Takes a screen from Saunders. Doesn't do anything. 12 seconds. Right screen from Turkson Jr. Rice at the right elbow, picks up his dribble, finds it to Saunders on the right mid-range. Gets booze as the former Cavalier passes it off to Solomon Washington in the left corner. 1 second on the shot clock, doesn't see it, gets up a shot, and it's an air ball. It's going to be a shot clock violation against Solomon Washington as it hits nothing. Already just a handful of possession in, and Maryland has seen that shot clock near zero twice, James.
Haven't been able to do much with it offensively. Nobody looks to attack. Got Saunders in the low post. He tries. He's getting big boos, obviously, the former Cavalier. But as for Maryland, looks like they're going to be making a swap.
Darius Adams and Andre Mills join Colin Metcalf checking into this game for the first time. They replace Elijah Saunders, as we just mentioned. George Turkson Jr. and Diggy Coit. Malik Thomas walking the baseline for Virginia. Into the right corner. Blues go from left to right. Over to Chance Mallory, who's the Charlottesville, Virginia native and freshman point guard. He's their leading scorer off the bench. Into the left corner. Now back over to Mallory. Mallory on the baseline, all the way to the left side. Uguno, Onesio. Corner three is good. Oniedmiso makes it Virginia 7, Maryland 0, 4.5 minutes through. Now on the inbound, it's stolen away by Chance Mallory. Ball goes out of play on the far baseline, but they're going to say it's off of Maryland and point guard Miles Rice. Chance Mallory had 6 steals last time out against UMES. Now 30 seconds in, adds his first. We've reached the first media timeout at John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, Virginia, where it's been all Cavaliers. Number 23, Virginia 7, Maryland 0, with 15 minutes, 27 seconds left to go in this first half. You're listening to Maryland men's basketball on the student home of the Terrapins, WMUC Sports.
Women's basketball, Lawrence Johnson had one of the best games in program history. In addition to pulling out 6 rebounds, dishing out 5 assists, and recorded 2 steals. Johnson hit a score record 10 3-pointers, en route to scoring 41 points. It's the second most points scored by Cavalier in school history, and the most in 27 years. Sparking an 88-53 win over Winthrop. Fans, let's hear it for Consoli Johnson and Cavalier women's basketball. Pensacola Central Virginia is proud to be the official soft drink of the Athletics. Now presenting Start, lemon lime sensation distributed by Pensacola Central Virginia. Born producing your favorite Pepsi products right here in Charlottesville since 1908. Start hits different. Time now for tonight's Ultra Move Up. Here's Jamar.
That's right, it's time to reward our great fans that we have here. I'm in section 313, looking for 2 lucky fans in orange to take them to courtside. So look at all these great fans, 313, are you here? That's right, who's gonna get upgraded? Is it over here? I think I found our winners. Congratulations, you are our Hilton winners.
Coming back to you live in Charlottesville, Virginia. A rivalry renewed between Maryland and number 23 Virginia. It's been all Cavaliers here so far. 4.5 minutes in, Virginia 7, Maryland 0. And after the first media timeout, it's Virginia's ball on the inbound. Starts with the freshman guard, Chance Mallory. He inbounds under his own shooting hoop from the far right side. Inbounds it into Tesse DeRitter. Has it in the right mid-range, guarding against Solomon Washington. To the left side, Jakari White, a three-pointer is up. It's short. Rebound goes to Maryland's Andre Mills. Terps move from right to left. And before the fast break can really get started, Miles Rice fouled by Virginia's Jakari White. It'll be White's first foul, first team foul against the Hoos.
Ryan, it makes sense that Jakari White's first attempt was a three-pointer. He leads the ACC in three-point percentage.
There's Miles Rice looking for Maryland's first points in the day. Of a straightaway shot, it drops home right in front of the three-point line. That's a 2 for Miles Rice. Virginia 7, Maryland 2, 5 minutes in. Comes Jakari White, passes cross court to Chance Mallory. Left side, White, three-pointers up in the air, it's short. Rebound goes to Andre Mills. Here come the Terps again. Miles Rice transition, left wing three-pointer is up. It banks off the glass and down. 5 straight points by Miles Rice. Bring this back to a one-score game. Who's 7, Terps 5. Here's White. 5.5 minutes into this game. He's guarded by the freshman Darius Adams. Coming off the bench for the second straight game. Adams fights through a screen. White passes over to the right side. Hands of Tess DeRitter. One-on-one with Solomon Washington in the paint. Right-handed layups. 2 bounces off the rim. Bounces back to DeRitter. His second chance shot doesn't go either. Chance Mallory comes up with it for Virginia. And it trickles out of bounds on the far baseline and goes out off of Maryland. This ball still with the Cavaliers.
Great interior defense to start off for the Terps, and obviously Maryland just got its first points of the night coming out of that last media timeout, but they've been so strong.
Mallory, again inbound under his own shooting hoop, right under the basket. Finds it into the hands of Sam Lewis. Here's a Toledo transfer. Kicks it back out to Onienzo. To White. Straight away, works down the left side with 7 seconds on the shot clock. Onienzo, back to Lewis. Stops, pops, mid-range shot, is off the front of the rim. Rebound goes to Jakari White. Offensive chance, cleaned up by Virginia. Here's Jakari White, the North Dakota State transfer. Picks up his dribble in front of Miles Rice, gets it to his big 6'8" center, Onienzo. To Lewis, left corner. To the hands of Devin Tillis. Back out Onienzo, straightaway three-pointer. It's an air ball, it's off the netting. And so it's picked up by Chance Mallory. His second chance opportunity, misses everything too. It's a shot clock violation against Virginia with the Hoos up 7-5, 13.5 minutes left in the first half.
Right, I think there's a lot to be said about the amount of shot clock violations we've seen on both sides of the ball. 2 for Maryland offensively, but 1 for Virginia. Both these squads playing strong defense till the clock expires.
Maryland has forced Virginia to miss each of its last 7 shots. Let's have couple turnovers too, can't even get up that shot production yet. Pass over to Elijah Saunders, works it to the right corner. Andre Mills, three-pointers up in the air. A bounce off the glass, no. Rebound offensively goes to Colin Metcalf. Here are the Terps, a fresh 20 seconds on the shot clock. Miles Rice taps his head with his right hand, calls out the play. Takes the screen from Metcalf, passes to the left wing with Darius Adams. He works on Chance Mallory, freshman on freshman. Adams spins, left-handed layup, is off the glass. No, another offensive rebound by Colin Metcalf. And then Chance Mallory hits it out of Metcalf's hands. It goes out of bounds. It'll be Terps ball to inbound with 0.2 seconds left on the shot clock. Maryland wants to get up a shot and potentially tie this game. It's Virginia 7, Maryland 5, just over 7 minutes into this one.
Ryan, how about Colin Metcalf so far? We've seen from the senior. Had 0 points in 1 minute versus Michigan. Now already with 2 rebounds in this last possession alone. Metcalf is moving differently on the block.
Both those rebounds offensively in that one possession. And now check out of the game as Isaiah Watts checks into this game for the first time. He didn't play at all against Michigan a week ago. He's dealing with a leg injury, but he's now back in. Elijah Saunders also comes out in favor of Solomon Washington. Throw it up to Diggy Coit. He won't get up a shot. 0.2 of a second. Don't leave much to set your feet and shoot it. So a 4th shot clock violation. 2 for Maryland, 2 for Virginia. It's Virginia's to inbound again. Who's up by 2?
It's an interesting move by head coach Buzz Williams. Just takes out Colin Metcalf right after those 2 strong rebounds offensively. He's just looking at a different lineup tonight.
Wesley Williams watches from the side in a blue plaid suit, red tie, and those shoes that just can't stay off the court. Onto the hands of Ogono Onienzo. Center dribbles it and passes it over to a small forward, Dallin Hall. Down the right wing, defended well, taken away by Darius Adams. Here comes Maryland from right to left, and it's poked away by Chance Mallory. Turnover, here come the Cavaliers. To the left wing, three-pointers up for White. And it's off the back of the rim. Rebound goes to Chance Mallory. It's going to be Mallory who picks up his first foul, 13th foul against the Cavaliers. So Maryland to inbound. Virginia's still bringing that full court press every time, James.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. You saw Chance Mallory obviously leads the squad in steals. Got the steal off Maryland's fast break there, so strong performance.
8 of the 10 players on the opposite side of the court. Only Virginia's Onienzo and Maryland's George Shirkson Jr. on the shooting side. However, comes over as Diggy Coit brings it up the timeline. Over to Andre Mills on the left wing. Working on White, has it stolen away. Here's a 3-on-3 break. Jakari White down the left wing. Picks up his dribble. Right-handed layup is short. George Shirkson Jr. grabs the board. Here come the Terps from right to left. Diggy Coit slows things down right in front of the big V logo that's in midcourt. Crosses it over to his left hand, now taps his head with his right hand, calling up the same play Miles Rice did a moment ago. Works with 8 seconds on the shot clock. A straightaway three-pointer up for Coit. Off the right side of the rim. Offensive rebound again cleaned up. Here's Solomon Washington for Maryland. Coit taps his cheek 4 times with his right hand. Now works against Devin Tillis. Takes the screen from George Shirkson Jr. Great separation, finds it in the right corner. Solomon Washington, 4 seconds on the shot clock. His floater is up in the air, no good. Washington will be fouled and become the first player at the free throw line here tonight after our media timeout. Both teams trading misses, including Virginia, 1 of its last 11. Meanwhile, Maryland has a scoring drought over the last 3.5 minutes. Number 23, Virginia 7, Maryland 5, with 11 minutes, 23 seconds left to go in this first half. It's been back and forth where defense has been the story lately. Who's leading with a 2-point advantage? That's where we'll pick it up as you're listening to Maryland men's basketball on WMUC Sports.
That was tonight's grocery cart challenge from Harris Teeter. Here's Jamar.
That's right, it's time for the Harris Teeter Shooting Challenge. You guys know how it works, so I'm gonna go ahead and introduce you to our contestants for the grocery cart challenge. I have the birthday boy here. He is 13 today from Richmond, and his name is Matt. Now he's going against Joseph from Roanoke, and he's 10 years old. So it's a 10-year-old against a teenager. You guys know how it works. You gotta make a layup, come back. Whoever has the most in their grocery cart at the end will go home a winner. Hey contestants, you ready? Birthday boy, you ready? On your mark, get set, go! And there's 20 seconds left. In the orange shirt, Richmond. From Richmond, we got Matt. His favorite food is a Chipotle burrito. And next we got Joseph. You got it, boy. You got 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Man, let's give it up to the Renegade boy. Matt from Richmond. Happy birthday. And Joseph, let's make some noise for Joseph, too.
Back with you in down Route 29 in Charlottesville, Virginia. It's a rivalry renewed between number 23 Virginia and Maryland. With 11 minutes, 23 seconds left to go in the first half, this is a 2-point game. Virginia scores the first 7 points in this game, and Maryland has now scored 5 straight. That was a while ago. We haven't seen a single point in the last 3.5 minutes. Now Solomon Washington, Maryland's starting power forward and Texas A&M transfer, tries to change that out of the second media timeout. He is at the free throw line. 3 bounces for Washington. His first free throw is up and swishes home. Solomon, a 70% free throw shooter, who's still recovering from a back injury he suffered in preseason, caused him to miss the team's first 7 games. This is now his 4th game back. Terps within 1, 3 dribbles and a shot for Washington. It swishes home 2. He moves to 9 for 12 on the season, up to 75% as Maryland ties it at 7, having scored 7 straight.
It's the first free throw shot tonight as well, Ryan, as we just saw 3 subs come in.
Back into the game for Maryland is Isaiah Watts, Darius Adams, and George Turkson Jr. On the court with Miles Rice and Solomon Washington for Maryland. Here's Chance Mallory. Passes over to the left corner with Malik Thomas. Back over to Mallory, guarding Isaiah Watts. Thomas to Mallory. Spun over. These two teams willing to work down the shot clock. The right side with Devin Tillis. Over to the right low block. Pass intended for Johan Grunlow. Goes out of bounds on the far baseline. I'll say George Turkson Jr. touched it last for Maryland though. So it'll still be, no, now they reversed the call. It's going to be Maryland to inbound with freshman guard Darius Adams. 2 steps to the left of his own defending hoop. Adam inbounds as Virginia still brings a full court pressure. Less than 10 minutes into the game. Tied up at 7 as Solomon Washington works it up. He's on the far sideline before passing it to Miles Rice. Rice shakes his left hand, 2 fingers pointed out, calls the plays and takes the left screen from Solomon Washington. Now a right screen from George Turkson Jr. As Rice works to the right elbow, puts up a high arcing shot, 2 bounces off the rim. No, rebound goes to Virginia with Grunlow. Pass up ahead to Malik Thomas, back over to Grunlow. Sam Lewis inside has his pocket picked, taken away by Solomon Washington. Pass over to Isaiah Watts. And the foul will go in transition against Virginia. Devin Tillis picks up his first foul of the game. Graduate forward from UC Irvine. Also represent the 15th foul for Virginia.
Another interesting move by head coach Buzz Williams and the Terps. Isaiah Watts coming in, did not play versus Michigan, but was a big, vital piece in their win over Marquette without Pharrell Payne at 18 points in that
Watts
away win.
averaging 5 points per game. Nice to see him back after missing a game with injury. This game's been quiet so far. Tied at 7, 10 minutes through. Pass over to Darius Adams, a freshman right wing 2-pointer is good. Adams' first 2 points this game as Maryland has its first lead, 9-7. Terps have scored 9 straight. Under 10 minutes to play in this first half. Chance Mallory. Bounce pass to his small forward, Tess DeRitter. Into the paint on the left side, puts up the layup. And he's going to be fouled in the act with the layup missing. Virginia Cavalier goes to the free throw line for the first time today. It'll be the freshman forward from Belgium and Tess DeRitter. DeRitter tries to end a 9-0 Maryland scoring run that spanned over the last 5 minutes of gameplay. Here is DeRitter, graduate from Gedoc Kamphout in Belgium. In 2021, he played professionally in Spain. His first free throw is up, and it's good. So just a 64% free throw shooter. That will go up on attempt number 51 this season. Maryland 9, Virginia 8. 9 minutes, 49 seconds to play until halftime. DeRitter's second free throw swishes home. This game tied back up at 9 thanks to 2 free throws from the freshman. Miles Rice using his cotton candy blue shoes to work up the timeline. Into the paint, coast to coast, right-handed layup, high off the glass. No, rebound goes to Virginia's Malik Thomas. Here come the Cavs from left to right. Thomas dribbles behind his back against Solomon Washington. Pass over to DeRitter, and to the left wing with Sam Lewis. Lewis, bounce pass to Grunlow. All alone on the right wing, finds it with Chance Mallory. Mallory, special dribbling. Have a free throw line jumper. It's off the rim to the right side. Ball up for grabs, and the whistle will go on the loose ball foul.
Personal foul is on 17.
Goes against Johan Grunlow. His first personal foul and 16 foul for Virginia. Maryland to inbound. It's going to be Darius Adams. Terps saw that 9-0 run cut. It's still tied at 9 with 9 minutes, 15 seconds left in the first half. Miles Rice brings it up. He's got 5 of Maryland's 9 points on 2 consecutive buckets that were made. Darius Adams into the paint. Ready to layup? No. Rebound goes to George Turkson. Second chance opportunity for Maryland. And they'll be fouled in the act of shooting. Johan Grunlow picks it up. As the Virginia Cavalier faithful make its opinions known. Turkson heads to the line, trying to take Maryland's second lead today.
Yeah, and you just see Turkson high flying there. He's exactly why Buzz Williams has him in right there. I mean, they don't have Pharrell Payne, their big man, that leads them in every stat you could possibly think of. And Turkson, if there's a game to shine, tonight is it.
George Turkson Jr. didn't play a minute under Buzz Williams at Texas A&M last year. He redshirted, but now makes his second start as a Terp. His first free throw is up and good. Maryland 10, Virginia 9, 11 minutes in.
Dallin Hall replacing Chance Mallory. Johan Grunlow.
Turkson with 32 minutes played in the Terps' last outing versus Michigan at home last week.
Turkson Jr. brings a ruggedness that Buzz Williams wants to see with all of his players. His second free throw is too strong. Rebound ping-pongs around before it goes to Sam Lewis. Here comes Virginia. From left to right, Cavaliers work it with Lewis. Pass over to Thomas. Thomas fakes right, goes left. Left-handed layups off the glass. 2 dribbles off the rim and down. Cavaliers 11, Terrapins 10. 11 minutes through. First field goal made by Virginia after missing 10 straight. Cavaliers shooting 22%. Maryland shooting 23%. In a defensive battle so far. Miles Rice puts his right pinky up to call it the play. Off ball in motion, here comes Darius Adams. Gets the pass in the right corner. Fakes the three-pointer, now comes to the paint. Draws the contact from Ugano Onienzo. And Darius Adams, one of the best freshmen in the country at drawing contact and getting to the line. He'll go shoot 2.
Personal foul on 33.
And just a 73% free throw shooter. Third on this squad for the Terps in points with about 12, but struggled versus Michigan last time out. 7 points. 0 for 4 from the three-point line, trying to get some of his first points tonight.
Adams shoots 7.5 free throws per game. That's 4th most in the Big Ten. His first free throw is up and good. His 3rd point today as Maryland ties it at 11. Early on in this game, it's been back and forth. 3 ties and 2 lead changes. Does Maryland have a 3rd lead change with the second free throw? It does. Darius Adams goes 2 for 2. Terps 12, Cavaliers 11. 11.5 minutes into the game. Maryland 5 for 6 from the free throw line. The only miss came from George Turkson a couple of trips ago. Here come the Terps bringing their own half-court pressure as Virginia goes from left to right. Dallin Hall makes the contact for Miles Rice, still dribbles it up. Now sets up shop at his left wing. Dribble handoff to Malik Thomas. And no charge. Miles Rice draws it for Maryland. It'll be a 5th turnover for Virginia. Maryland has 5 of its own. This one's go back to Maryland. Just a veteran play by a veteran leader, Miles Rice. Maybe sold a little bit on the fall there. But it's back in possession of Maryland.
Exactly what the Terps need right now. Maryland and Miles Rice being their leader offensively and defensively.
Final 8 minutes of the first half as Darius Adams finds with George Turkson at the top of the key. Onto the left wing with Andre Mills. Finds a cutting Miles Rice. He sets up shop straight away. To Solomon Washington with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Takes his left hand, taps his left ear to call it the play. They clear out. Solomon Washington, spin move, left-handed layup. 2 bounces off the rim, and it drops down. Washington flexes on them as Maryland goes up by 3. Off the inbound, here's Sam Lewis. At his left wing. Over to Malik Thomas. Maryland up 14-11 with 7.5 to play in the first frame. Onienzo Back over to Lewis. Takes the screen as he works down the right mid-range. Picks up his dribble at the right block with two Terps in his face. Puts up the layup. It's short. And the rebound goes to Maryland's Darius Adams. He leads the Terps from right to left. Adams takes the right screen from Turkson Jr. Will try a straightaway three-pointer. The whistle blows it off. And they're going to call an illegal screen against George Turkson Jr. First personal foul against George Turkson Jr. Third team foul for Maryland. Terps up 14-11. Forced Virginia to make just one of its last 12 shots. This is the largest lead of the game early on for Maryland. It's by 3. There's 7 minutes, 4 seconds left to go here in Charlottesville, Virginia. You're listening to Maryland men's basketball on WMUC Sports.
The Virginia Athletics Foundation is excited to offer you an exclusive opportunity to leave your mark at John Paul Jones Arena. These personalized bricks will be placed at the front of GPJ to create a lasting tribute that shows your support for Virginia Athletics. To learn more, scan the QR code or visit the ticket sales table near the main entrance. Fans, please welcome to the floor your UVA dance team.
Back at John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, Virginia. First meeting in nearly a decade between number 23 Virginia and Maryland. The Terrapins string together a couple of good possessions, and with 7 minutes left until halftime, Maryland up 14-11 on the road. Back alongside James Consoli, I'm Ryan Martin here for WMUC Sports. James, a 3-point lead for Maryland, a team that's giving up over 80 points per game. That's the most opponent points per game in the Big Ten. Going up against a Virginia team that's averaging 87 points per game, the most by them in nearly 75 years. All that's gone out the window for a Virginia team that's shooting just 1 of 12. Maryland's defense is ready for this challenge.
Yeah, Ryan, no doubt about that. The shooting from both sides of the court is not great tonight. What impresses me the most about the Terps, though, is their ability to keep up when it comes to rebounding. There's no 7-foot presence in the front court for the Terps, but they're still even-keeled with the Cavaliers at 12 apiece, so we'll see if that holds up. Virginia
shooting just 21%, including 1 for 6 from three-point land. That's 17% from behind the arc for Virginia, a team that shoots 40% usually from three-point land, the best in the ACC. Maryland 14, Virginia 11 with 7 minutes left until halftime. In front of his own orange and blue bench, here's Virginia's Jakari White to inbound it on the near sideline. Gets it into Dallin Hall. Terps up by 3 as it's back to White on the right wing. Back to the left corner, Devin Tillis fakes a 3. Up top it goes, the three-pointer now from Testa Ritter. It's off the front of the rim. Rebound goes to Onyeso. His second chance bucket doesn't go either. So here comes Maryland. Rebound to Solomon Washington, moving from right to left. Andre Mills on the other side. Lefty layup, no. Washington now grabs an offensive rebound. Swung to the right corner. Elijah Saunders' three-pointer is short. Flying in for the rebound is Virginia's Dallin Hall, but they're going to call a loose ball foul against Virginia. This one's going to stay with Maryland.
Looks like like it was against DeRitter there on the low block. Just a little bit too much shoving there when the shot went up. You can see just grabs Solomon Washington there. Solomon Washington has been so strong down low so far for the Terps. Offensive rebound, 1 for Washington.
First team foul against Tess DeRitter. First personal foul against Tess DeRitter. 10th team foul. Maryland's in the double bonus. So here's Solomon Washington back at the line. His first free throw on this trip swishes home. Maryland 15, Virginia 11 with 6.5 minutes to play in the first half. Washington now 5 points. He's got a 2-pointer and 3 of 3 at the free throw line. They're going to call a quick whistle here.
Looked like they called that last free throw on Solomon Washington off. His foot might have been on the line.
Hard to miss Solomon Washington's sneakers today. Bright white shoes with a pink trim to them. So they will say no basket. That's a missed free throw. His second one's up in the air, and it misses as well. Rebound goes to Virginia with Tess DeRitter. He passes to his point guard, Chance Mallory. Here come the Cavaliers from left to right. Back over to Onieso. Jakari White, straight away three-pointer up in the air. 2 bounced off the rim, and it is going to be, again, a loose ball foul. Whistles plenty here in this first half. It'll go against Diggy Coit as his first personal foul. Only the 4th team foul against Maryland. In comparison, Virginia with 10 team fouls to put Maryland in the double bonus for the final 6.5 minutes of the first half. Chance Mallory on his attacking baseline on the left side, and they're going to be called for a 5-second violation. The freshman point guard couldn't inbound it, trying to get it to Jakari White, but the whistle blows in his ear right before that happens. 6th turnover of the game for Virginia. Maryland has 7. The Terps still have a 3-point lead. 14-11 with 6 minutes, 22 seconds left in this opening half. Miles Rice has both of his 2 sneakers right where Chance Mallory had it. Now the Terps move from right to left. Rice, the game-high 5 points. He's got a layup and a 3-pointer. Works against Jakari White. Sets up at the left wing. Takes the right screen from George Cherkson Jr. Works into the paint. Switch comes on Onieso. He passes back out to Diggy Coit. Step back 3-pointer. Straight away. It's off to the left side. Another offensive rebound by George Cherkson Jr. Terps set up again. Back to Miles Rice on the right wing. Crossover on Onieso. Stops at the right elbow. Puts up a shot. Can't draw the contact he wants. Rebounds up for grabs. Solomon Washington. Another offensive rebound. Washington back over to Mills with 3 seconds on the shot clock. Coit's got to put up a shot. Pass to Rice, his right corner 3. It's off the back of the rim. And another offensive rebound. Andre Mills will try one, and it drops down. 3 offensive rebounds for Maryland lead to an Andre Mills triple. Terps up to a game-high 6-point lead, 17-11, 5 minutes, 20 seconds until the half. Chance Mallory, pass over to Onieso. He finds it with DeRitter. DeRitter down the left side, has the size advantage on Coit, but Coit forces the missed layup. Here's Maryland in transition to Andre Mills. Solomon Washington walks the left baseline. He'll lose possession of the ball. Miles Rice keeps it in play. Washington then is fouled by DeRitter on the left baseline. Washington falls right towards the near baseline. George Cherkson claps in his face before helping up his former Texas A&M teammate and now Terrapin teammate. And Maryland will be set to inbound after the foul.
Ryan, how about the hustle from this Maryland squad? We have never seen this much energy since that Marquette game where you have your best player, Pharrell Payne, out. But these guys saving inbounds, throwing their bodies at everything possible. Maryland is alive tonight.
With the double bonus, correct that. Solomon Washington heads to the free throw line. First shot takes 2 bounces off the rim and drops down. Solomon Washington now has 5 points, 3 of 4 from the line. He has half of Maryland's free throw attempts. Terps 18, Cavs 11. Final 5 minutes of this opening half. Maryland on an 8-0 run as Virginia has missed each of its last 5 shots. 3 bounces at the free throw line for Solomon Washington. Texas A&M transfer puts it up, and he's good again. Moving to 4 of 5 from the line. The only miss coming on that last trip where he had the violation. Maryland 19, Virginia 11 That's a game-high 8-point lead for the Terrapins. Chance Mallory claps the basketball, inbounds it to Lewis, who passes it back to his starting point guard. Mallory, under 5 minutes left in this first half. He works on Isaiah Watts. Just pass to Jakari White. Freezes his feet at the left wing. Takes the right screen from Dermitter and a pass over to Tillis. Ball moved to Mallory. Goes behind the back, again guarded by Isaiah Watts. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Crossover, the right-handed layup, hits the front of the rim, gets his own offensive rebound, but it's blocked by Turkson Jr. Rebound goes to the Terps. Here comes Maryland from right to left. Hoyt at the right wing. Now goes inside on White and passes back over to Miles Rice. Takes the left hand, 2 taps on the head. Now points his right pinky finger and index finger. Calls out the play. Elijah Saunders back over to Miles Rice. The Terps up by 8. Final 4 minutes of this first half. Isaiah Watts on the right side to Rice. 2 seconds on the shot clock. 1 second, puts up a floater off the back of the rim. Rebound goes to Johan Grunlow. It's Grunlow's 3rd rebound. Here comes Jakari White. White stops in the painted area, passes it over to Grunlow. 2-handed slam is missed. Rebound goes back to Grunlow, to Tillis. Tillis will try a layup from the painted area. It drops down. Virginia's first field goal made out of a span of 9 straight. Maryland 19, Virginia 13.
First in the last 5 minutes, too, for the Hoos, Ryan.
Buzz Williams hates what he's seeing. He takes 4 steps onto the court and will call a timeout for Maryland. Terps 19, Cavaliers 13. 3 minutes, 28 seconds left in this first half. It's been Maryland's defense, the story so far. Virginia shooting under 20% and down 6. We'll pick it up in just a moment as you're listening to Maryland men's basketball on WMUC Sports.
I'll say just being here, this is a dream of mine, so I'm able to about that game. So basketball, Chicago Bulls, and then football, Dallas Cowboys. He's like, I listen to music, play video games, so after a long day, do some homework, and hop on a video game, listen to music, just enjoy my time with my friends. I'll say my mom, my dad, I throw my brother in there as well. They just help me every step of the way all my life, and I look up to them. I'll say just the support in the community, the love from fans, alumni, just the support that everyone shows, and having their back in this means a lot. We want to go out there and win the national championship. We want to take it every step of the way. That's the end goal. That's what we want to do. We got to put our goals out there and make them come true. So, yeah.
That was tonight's Get to Know Your Hoos, presented by Cav Futures Marketing, the official NIL marketing agency for Virginia Athletics. Virginia women's basketball is 9-3 on the season. They'll host SMU on the 29th for the ACC home opener. First 1,000 fans will receive a Cavalier dark mauve shirt. Tip-off set for 7 p.m. We'll see you there. Want the latest news and behind-the-scenes info for your Cavalier men's basketball team? Follow us on social media right now. Use @UVMNShoots on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. And check out your vision for some special shout-outs.
Checking back in with you in Charlottesville, Virginia. We're at John Paul Jones Arena for Maryland, traveling to number 23, Virginia. And so far, the Terps having their way. Maryland 19, Virginia 13, with 3 minutes, 28 seconds left in this first half. Both teams entering dry spells right now. Maryland's made just one of its last 7 shots. Virginia has made one of its last 9. Terps of Solomon Washington to inbound as Maryland goes from right to left. Passes it in and gets to Miles Rice on the right wing. Bounce pass to the left block with Washington. The inbounder passes it over to Saunders. It goes off the former Virginia Cavalier. It's a turnover. Here comes Chance Mallory. The freshman point guard stops, pops, goes into the area. Jakari White, a left wing three-pointer. It's off the mark, but Diggy Coit fouls him. So it's a North Dakota State transfer. And Virginia power forward and Jakari White, he'll head to the free throw line for an opportunity at 3 shots and can make this a 1-score game.
So far for White, team leader in three-pointers made and three-point percentage for the Hoos. It's 0 for 4 from beyond the arc tonight.
White coming into this game had just 8 made 2-pointers and 27 made 3-pointers. The All-Summit League second team selection a season ago at North Dakota State. His first free throw hangs up on the front of the rim for a while, but then drops down. White on the season, 73% free throw shooter, makes his first attempt. His second will drop 2. White makes the first 2, and he's got a third after Diggy Coit picked up his second foul, just the 5th against Maryland. Meanwhile, Virginia has 11 team fouls to put Maryland in the double bonus. White swishes home the third, goes 3 for 3. Maryland 19, Virginia 16. It's a 1-score game with 3 minutes, 10 seconds left in the first half. Here's Darius Adams. Freshman point guard is guarded the whole way by Jakari White. Now puts up his pointer and index finger, calls out the play with his right hand. Works on the left wing, takes the right screen from Elijah Saunders. Pass over to Solomon Washington on the right wing. 10 seconds on the shot clock, bounce pass inside to Elijah Saunders. It's up for grabs, he loses possession of it, and Chance Mallory comes up with it for Virginia. Here come the Hoos with Sam Lewis, brings it from left to right. Washington, now a bounce pass to the right wing with Devin Tillis. Works against Miles Rice, and it's Rice who picks up the blocking foul against Devin Tillis. Rice's first foul, Maryland's 6th team foul. It's Chance Mallory. Backup point guard at just 5'10" to inbound it. Terps up 19-16 in the final 2.5 minutes of the opening frame. Mallory was a 4-star prospect offered by Maryland, both Kevin Willard and Buzz Williams. He passed it to the left block, the layup is up and good for Devin Tillis. Back to a 1-point game. Maryland 19, Virginia 18, with 2.5 to play in the first. Miles Rice brings it up the timeline as this Virginia crowd at John Paul Jones Arena makes the most noise it's had so far in this first half. Rice guarded at the Virginia V logo by Chance Mallory. His pass over Darius Adams is tipped by Jakari White. Miles Rice taps his left hand on his head to call it the play. Takes the screen from George Turkson Jr., picks up his dribble, passes it to Andre Mills in the right corner. Defended well by Sam Lewis, and it goes off Andre Mills for a turnover on the near baseline. Jakari White puts up both of his hands in the air, tells his Virginia fan section to make some noise, and they do just that.
Sloppy possessions for the Terps so far in these last couple, letting Virginia go on a 7-0 run.
Now 10 turnovers for Maryland, 6 for Virginia. Chance Mallory. Bright red sneaker on his left foot, bright green one on his right foot. Pass inside, the alley-oop is thrown down by Johan Grunlow. Another alley-oop to the big man in Virginia, goes back ahead by 1. Hoos 20, Terps 19 in the final 90 seconds of the first half. Andre Mills brings it up the timeline. Texas A&M transfer, again guarded well up ahead by Jakari White. Takes a screen from Turkson Jr. A 3-pointer's up for Mills, it's short. Rebound finds its way to the Terps' Solomon Washington. Offensive glass cleaned up, right-handed layup is no good, and it's a clean block by Johan Grunlow. Here comes Virginia from right to left. Chance Mallory to Tillis. Puts Turkson Jr. in the air. Ball swung around into the left corner. A 3 from Jakari White. It's off the front of the rim. Rebound goes to Sam Lewis. Back into the paint. His righty layup swirls around. Virginia 22, Maryland 19. JPJ to its feet as Solomon Washington brings it up the far sideline. Devin Tillis has both of his hands in the air as he calls out the play. Darius Adams pleads Andre Mills to come to him as he grabs his right ear with his right hand. 10 seconds on the shot clock, 35 on the game clock. Adams back to the right side. A three from George Turkson Jr. It's short. Rebound to Chance Mallory. And the shot clock is off with 25 seconds to go in this first half. Virginia 22, Maryland 19. The Cavaliers on an 11-0 run.
4 of their last 5 field goals too, Ryan, as time's ticking down here.
Maryland's made just one of its last 10 shots as Virginia will make sure this is the final possession of the first half. Chance Mallory gets Andre Mills in the air, goes down the right side, his layup, no, putback dunk is in for Grunlow. And the first half clock expires. Virginia explodes off of its bench and goes to greet the 5 Cavaliers on the court. Virginia ends the first half on a 13-0 run. Cavaliers 24, Maryland 19 going into the break. James, closing thoughts after the first 20 minutes of play. Virginia had that really quiet spell middle of that first half, but then just exploded at the end.
Ryan, I always hear basketball as a game of runs, and we have seen that for both forms tonight on both sides of the ball. Virginia with the latter comeback to cap off the first half, and as for the Terps, they're just going to have to go back to the drawing board coming out in this second.
For Maryland, Solomon Washington put together a great first half. The Texas A&M transfer 6 points, including 4 or 5 from the free throw line, to go along with a game high 6 rebounds. That game high is tied with Virginia's Johan Grunlow. He has 6 rebounds and 6 points. That includes that emphatic putback dunk he had to cap off a 13-0 Cavaliers run. Number 23, Virginia 24, Maryland 19 at halftime here in Charlottesville. We'll pick it back up in the second half as you're listening to Maryland men's basketball on WMUC Sports.
in John Paul Jones Arena for the second half. Maryland Terrapins and the Virginia Cavaliers. Virginia up 5, but Ryan, this has not been a very high scoring first half. Both these squads with their fewest points in the first half so far this season.
James, we've seen defense, and a little more defense across the first 20 minutes. Maryland shooting just 21%. Virginia a little bit higher at 27%. But for a Cavalier team that's shooting the best from three-point land in the ACC, averaging 40% from three-point land, Cavaliers are 1 of 9, 11%. Virginia did end the first half, though, on a 13-0 scoring run.
So Maryland got the first half tip, so now it'll be Virginia. Number 30 in that orange threading. Hall with the ball, and now driving in is Thomas. Thomas will score the early floater as he claps over the ball. Inbound here from Elijah Saunders. Handed off to Miles Rice. Rice crosses into the front court. Just over top that Virginia logo. Rice going to drive on the right wing. Kicks it out. Saunders outside. Here's Solomon Washington. Strong first half for Maryland. Now Rice outside near the logo territory. Going to get a screen from Solomon to the left. Feeds it off to Solomon. Stolen here. Hall. Dallin Hall going to go coast to coast. Little finger roll touch off the rim. He's going to get the Hoosiers' first points in the second half. Driving here is Miles Rice. Looks like an off-ball foul there. And we're going to get a timeout for the Terps, our first of this second half. As for Maryland, no points to start off this second half. 1 minute in, Virginia able to score. Be back here on just a moment, here on WMUC Radio. Thanks for joining us back here in Charlottesville, Virginia, as the Hoos were able to score first in the second half, 28-19 in favor of the Cavaliers. As for the Terps, no scores yet, coming back out onto the hardwood. And this is pretty shocking from both squads, just being that it is the lowest amount of points each has scored in a first half. Alongside Ryan Martin, I am James Consoli, bringing you back. And Ryan, shooting been poor for both teams. Virginia 1 for 9 from three-point land. Maryland 2 for 9 from three-point land.
James, I truly think, though, too, that for both of these teams, this is the best defensive performance each of these teams are putting together so far this season. Again, small sample size, just a dozen games in, but Maryland has been everywhere defensively against Virginia. Really impressive after Maryland had its way in the first half against number 2 Michigan a week ago. This is a good defensive Terps team that we're seeing. Problem is, Virginia has been just as good defensively, holding Maryland to under 25% shooting.
And I'm going to add that off top of what you said too, Ryan. Not a pretty rare sighting we don't see pretty frequently, but as for Maryland, they actually are beating the Hoos in blocks. So the Cavaliers obviously only 1 block on the night, whereas Maryland has 3. So that's that defensive piece that you're talking about that Maryland's bringing tonight. As we are getting back set, it's going to be on in Maryland's backcourt Maryland's front court, as Elijah Saunders, the former Virginia Cavalier, as of last year, transitioned to the Terps this year under head coach Buzz Williams. Saunders on the inbound, left side. Here's Turkson at the top of the key. And now Miles Rice outside, gets a screen, is Coit. Lofts up his first three, rattles it home for the Terps, their first points of the second half. As now, here's Malik Thomas, who crosses in. Little baseline jumper there, off the mark. Goes out of bounds on the baseline. Looks like it's gonna be the Terps ball. Miles Rice inbounding, guarded from Malik Thomas on this near side baseline. Inbounded, Diggy Coit. Cross, and they're still applying that strong press, Ryan, as that's Dallin Hall guarding Coit tightly. A screen from Saunders, Coit. Here's Saunders, Miles Rice, pickpocketed. Looks like that one's gonna go. The Cavaliers ball, there's Testa Ritter leading this team in scoring and rebounds, but a big steal there for the freshman from Belgium.
Yeah, it's been all about the defense again for Virginia, and De Ritter's leading that charge. You mentioned not only in blocks, but now adds a steal.
Here's Dallin Hall crossing into the front court, and now getting it off to Thomas. Sam Lewis, top of the key. Lewis drives in, little left-handed layup. Guarded from Solomon Washington, not gonna go, rebounded. The former Cavalier is Elijah Saunders. Now Diggy Coit. Coit on the left side of the wing. Coit, crossover, Coit, pull up, Coit's cooking. Outside, back-to-back threes to start off the second half.
Maryland's playing at its best when Diggy Coit's doing the same just from three-point line.
Now Sam Lewis gonna try and trade one there. From the corner, Lewis chases that one home. Here is Darius Adams for Maryland, crossing half court. Adams, guarded tightly from Lewis. Here's Coit. Adams dumped it off. Coit, who's been cooking to start this second half, guarded tightly from Dallin Hall. Coit gonna drive inside. Coit gonna get where he wants, when he wants, as he gets the easy deuce. He's got 8 to start off this second half. Dallin Hall driving, gets the screen. Brunlow inside, guarded from Turkson. Throws it up with a hook, can't get it. Rebounded, Solomon Washington. Just a shovel to Coit. Coit crosses over into enemy territory. Coit gonna drive in. Coit kicks out. Adams, corner three, got it! Adams and Coit start things off red hot in Cavaliers territory. And now crossing half court, Dallin Hall gonna try and take this one straight up, and he will. Inside hand finish from Hall. Hall, the graduate student, Plain City, Utah. And now inbounded, we have Coit crossing half court. Maryland 30, Virginia 33. A steal from the graduate student. Dallin Hall gonna take it all the way, dumps it off to Grunlow at his feet. A bounce pass goes out of bounds, and now Maryland gonna get possession as we see 2 substitutes coming in. Colin Metcalf for George Turkson. Elijah Saunders going off the floor. In comes Miles Rice for his first second half minutes. Diggy Coit gonna be hopping off the court, and Andre Mills for Maryland stepping on for some minutes. We've seen a strong run from the Terps so far to start off the second half. Here it appears Darius Adams on the inbound, gonna find Miles Rice. Miles Rice, the guard, redshirt junior from South Carolina, very strong, transferred from Indiana this year, wants to play for Buzz, and here's Rice, dumps it off to Andre Mills with another corner three. Maryland starting off this second half red hot from outside the arc. Now here is Chance Mallory, local product, hometown hero. Crosses half court, but a tight pressure from Maryland, and a foul called there. A trap from both Adams and Miles Rice gets the foul, and so this will stay in the Cavaliers' front court as they will maintain offensive possession, and we are getting a timeout. So we will be with you back here in just a minute. We are a quarter of the way through the second half, just about 15 minutes and 56 ticks on the clock left, as Virginia and Maryland are even-keeled at 33 apiece.
Enrico. Okay, almost. Matapani. Mataponi. 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 Oh my goodness. Stanton. Stan. Yeah, Stan. Powhatan.
Powhatan. Powhatan. Is that right? That's right. Yes.
Today's Tiger Fuel Hoops Experience winner is Emily Prevetti from Jersey. As the winner, Emily went on a behind-the-scenes tour of QBA men's basketball facilities, Coach Ryan Adams' office, and picked up a t-shirt and tickets to the game, courtesy of the Markets by Tiger, a proud supporter of QBA athletics. Follow the Markets by Tiger on socials to find out how you can enter to win your own hoops experience. Time now for the delivery of the game presented by your locally owned Papa John's Pizza locations. Serving pizza right here in JPJ. Here's Jerron.
That's right, y'all know it's pizza time. And who's getting free pizza? Section 304. Make some noise, you're getting some free Papa John's pizza.
Hot start from outside as the Virginia Cavaliers and the Terps kick things off in the second half. Like I said, 33-33 apiece, a quarter of the way into the second half, 15 minutes left in this one between these two squads, the first one since 2018. And Ryan Martin, both of these squads are cooking from beyond the arc to start things off.
Yeah, after we talked about so many shooting struggles games in the first half, how about the second half where both teams have been so good so far? For Maryland, making 4 of its first 4 threes to begin the second half. And Virginia, they made the lone triple off the hands of Lewis. So really, both teams now really showing some shooting successes in the second half.
Here's an inbound. Looks like Devin Tillis of Virginia. Now up top is Chance Mallory. Hometown hero finds Tillis. They're just outside the arc on the left hash. Here's Mallory. They're playing pretty far outside. Tillis back inside. Now back out to Ritter. This one off the mark, a three-pointer. Rebounded. Looks like both hands were battling for it. Gonna go Maryland's way as a strong fight from Solomon Washington inside continues.
And Solomon Washington, one of the most emotional players that you'll see. He takes both of his fists, screams in success after causing that turnover against Virginia.
Strong start for senior product in Washington. And now Miles Rice gets the inbound. Looks like Washington is going to wave him off. Rice up top, guarded from Jakari. A foul there, another steal from Chance Mallory. Another foul from Chance Mallory as he will get fouled crossing into the front court. So Mallory may get to the line here.
Chance Mallory is unbelievable defensively, James. Last game out had 6 steals. That was one shy of the arena record here at John Paul Jones Arena. Had 6 steals against UMES, now has 5 and counting against Maryland.
Mallory, the freshman, committed when Tony Bennett was getting hired, but decommitted and then recommitted after Coach Odom came in here as Mallory drives to the elbow. Looks like he's going to find Desmond DeRitter outside, who's going to travel. DeRitter has not had the strongest performance tonight so far, Ryan.
He hasn't yet. You look at the points, 2 points because of 2 for 2 at the free throw line. He's 0 of 7 shooting. James, there's a lot of guys for this Virginia team who aren't shooting the ball well, but the reason why they're tied, including Chance Mallory, he's 0 for 5 from the field, 0 points with those 5 steals.
So DeRitter yet to record a field goal from the floor. Doesn't matter for the Terps as Diggy Coit crosses half court, and almost another turnover for the Terps as he hands that one off to Solomon Washington. Now Coit gets it back, calls for the screen from Turkson, gets the right screen. Coit moving on the wing. Coit been red hot from outside from 3. Coit gonna draw the foul, and it's gonna be a shooting one. Just inside the 3-point line, he'll go to the stripe for 2.
Pushing a foul on 2, Chance Mallory.
Looks like that foul will go against Chance Mallory, number 2, his second of the night. And not looking good as Maryland will head to the free throw line.
This is what Buzz Williams wants to do. He wants to shoot more shots, he says, than its opponent. That means 2 things to him: offensive rebounding and drawing shots to the free throw line. And that time, Diggy Coit draws the foul. Remember, Maryland had that double bonus for a majority of that first half. Terps accomplishing their goals.
Coit, good for the first one from the charity stripe.
Dallin Hall returns for Virginia, placing Testerina.
And now Maryland takes the first lead in this second half. Scoring drought for Virginia for the last 2 minutes. Coit, 2 for 2 from the stripe, as we'll see a substitution after his second. Colin Metcalf coming on. George Turkson Jr. going off. Buzz Williams has made a lot of rotations so far tonight. Inbounding for Virginia under the basket is going to be Jakari White, graduate student guard from Orlando, Florida, transferred from North Dakota State. As now Chance Mallory gets the ball in the front court, finds Jakari White, who's going to drive in. White looking for Onyenso. Onyenso, little nifty shimmy shake there as he'll get the floater for 2. Tie things back up at 35. And inbounded here, Diggy Coit. Coit, a little crossover jab on Jakari White. Crosses into half court. Coit, a little step back 3. His money move. Just off front rim. Rebound attempted from Metcalf, but then cleaned up by Darius Adams. Here's Andre Mills. Here's Diggy Coit, back at top of the key. Virginia logo. Guarded tightly from Chance Mallory, their steals leader. Let's see if Coit can get an ISO. He gets a little bit of breathing room. Finds Darius Adams in the corner, whose hand's ready. Drives in, 3 seconds left. Blocked there from Onyenso. Into open territory is Dallin Hall. Hall not gonna pull up. Here's Jakari White looking for his first 3. White's got it. It's electric here in Charlottesville. The lead goes back to Virginia as Andre Mills crosses into the half court. Finds Coit, who's gonna try and get another pull-up. Coit looking for something, can't find the hands of Metcalf into enemy territory. Here's Devin Tillis. Tillis just crosses over half line, finds Dallin Hall inside. Dallin Hall drives baseline, just kind of doing a little weave on himself this time. Chance Mallory outside, off back iron, rebounded Solomon Washington. Got a little 2-on-1 break. Washington gonna go up, no foul called. That one goes out of bounds, and it's gonna be Virginia's ball. Washington pleading with the ref to see, I got fouled, I got hit in the hand. The ref saw none of that. Washington a little frustrated, so is Buzz Williams, who's coming on the court as the Virginia faithful stand up and are asking, hey, that guy, like you said, Ryan, he's two-stepping on the court whenever he can, and the Virginia fans are not having it.
I think he had a case there. I think Washington took a lot of contact as he now heads to the bench, but it's just being an air ball that goes out of bounds against Maryland.
Jakari White gets Chance Mallory involved. Dallin Hall on the right wing. Hall gonna drive in, gives him a little shoulder and gets the deuce. Here's Saunders, moving baseline, calls the timeout. Not sure if Saunders needed that timeout there. Regardless, he got the timeout. And so Virginia up 5 to cap things off. Just 8 minutes into this second half, 12 minutes and 47 ticks left on the clock in this second half special. We'll have more for you back on WMUC in just a moment. Inbounded here, Darius Adams gets the ball from Saunders. Adams crosses into front court. Adams looking to attack, gets the screen from Saunders, a little roll. Adams gonna look to get an ISO. Adams leans in, turns it over. Here's Chance Mallory with another steal. Mallory gonna take it up, falls down and root. Chance Mallory still on the floor, but kicked out again. Jakari White laces as the Virginia faithful is on its feet, and Virginia goes up by 8.
That was a tough fall that Chance Mallory looked like he took on the near baseline. He's favoring his left knee. Jakari White makes that three. Of course, Virginia would take a healthy Chance Mallory, who has 5 steals, even though he's 0 of 6 from the field, over that three. Virginia goes up by 8. We'll see if we have an update on Chance Mallory.
This guy, Chance Mallory, has wanted to play in the orange and blue for his whole life. Grew up St. Anne's Belfield School, not even a mile away from John Paul Jones Arena here in Charlottesville, Virginia. Grew up with 2 of his other teammates as well, so they all are local products, and Mallory just plays with his logo on his sleeve as Coit outside, 5 feet from the three-point line, top of the key. Got an ISO here, Devin Tillis guarding. Coit finds Saunders inside. Saunders gonna look for his first points of the night. Saunders will get those first points of the night, as it appears that Onyenso's block will be considered a goaltend as Maryland takes the margin to 6.
That was a good call. Onyenso jumped up. He already has a couple blocks to his name today, but that one was clearly on the way down.
So Virginia with the 6-point lead as another timeout is taken, and we have just about a quarter of this game left. Appreciate you for tuning in here on WMUC Radio, and as always, your terms, your station.
Virginia football is headed to the Gator Bowl to take on the Missouri Tigers. Ticket packages are available at virginiasports.com. Kickoff set for 7:30 p.m. Saturday, December 27th in Jacksonville. Hope to see you there. Make plans to support the Hoos now. We go for a program record 11th win. Now for tonight's trivia timeout presented by UVA Today. Here's Jamar.
That's right, it's time for the UVA Trivia Contest. We have Sarah. She's from Growth and she's a second year, and she's majoring in media. So we're going to give her 30 seconds. She only needs to get 3 questions correct, but fans, make sure you help her out. We're going to put 30 seconds on the clock. Your first question: who is the head coach for UVA men's basketball? On a basketball team, what position is usually the tallest player? And what was the name of the former round UVA basketball arena with Roundhouse spray painted on the roof?
University Hall.
That is correct, fans. Let's give it up for Sarah for today. Thank you for helping her out, and go Hoos!
Back here, it's a lot of orange and blue here for the Hoos as Virginia is up 43-37 on the Terps. 11 minutes and 57 seconds left in this second half. Ryan, we saw our lowest scoring half from both of these programs so far this season. How about this fiery red start in the second?
Yeah, you look at the first half stats, and Maryland ends up shooting 21%, Virginia 27%. That's changed to Maryland shooting 67% and Virginia shooting 62%. It's a tale of 2 halves so far. The defense was all we could talk about in the first half. Then all of a sudden, the second half happens, James. It's made basket for one team, then quick transition off the inbound for the next team, bucket after bucket. That's why we see this 43-37 Virginia lead right now. The Hoos have been in front, though, for a majority of this second half.
A tale of 2 halves is the best way to describe it, Ryan, but we still haven't gotten an update from number 2 in the Virginia colors. Chance Mallory went down after recording his, 3rd, 4th, 5th steal tonight, Ryan. It doesn't matter. This guy is an electric ball player on both sides of the floor. He was in transition trying to attack at the hoop. He went down, but he went down in glory as he helped Virginia climb back into this one. So we have Jakari White and the Virginia faithful back out on the court.
Yeah, we take a look at Virginia's bench under first-year head coach Ryan Odom and see where Chance Mallory was. He's headed into the Hoos home locker room, so We'll have an update to see if Chance Mallory gets back. And how about this? Just as I say it, Chance Mallory heads back to the bench to the Virginia applause.
I think he heard you, Ryan, as Jakari White crosses into front court. White gonna take it up all the way, slams it home on Solomon Washington, as this environment is electric. Wow, oh wow, man, Jakari White, way to wake up this Charlottesville hometown with that jam.
Jakari White just put Solomon Washington on Sports Center. Whoa! We talked about Jakari White as a three-point specialist for Virginia. You'll see that, I'm guessing, top 3 plays on Sports Center tomorrow. And White has the and one as he heads to the line. Virginia up by 8.
An NBA level dunk as he will try and convert the and one at the line. White will. Man, this guy doesn't stand out too much when it comes to his 4th on the team in scoring, but he is red hot from beyond the arc. I don't think we've ever seen him drive to the hoop like that. Here's Diggy Coit outside, probably about 10 feet out from the 3-point line. Solomon Washington guarded from Oyenso. Coit outside, guarded from Dallin Hall. Finds Andre Mills on the left wing. Mills has a little bit of space to shoot. Gets the screen from Washington. Washington's open in the corner. Instead, he's going to opt to find Watts. Watts off the front rim. Rebounded on Yenso. Virginia and Dallin Hall crossing half court. Looking to set something up. Hall gets a screen from Onyenso, who gets the ball up top. Who gets the easy feed inside? It's Devin Tillis, the graduate student out of LA, California, showing off his low block presence. Here's Diggy Coit. Finds Solomon Washington up top. Washington going to drive in, try and give it back to him. He's going to get fouled as he goes to the racks, and he's going to see 2 at the free throw line. Both these squads shooting relatively well from the free throw line so far tonight, as Virginia is 100% on 6 attempts. As for the Terps, they are 9 from 11. As we have a Virginia with 48 points, Maryland at 37 with just over a quarter of this game left. 10 minutes and 56 seconds as Solomon Washington is at the line, trying to bring this one to within 9. Washington's first free throw attempt is off the front rim, so he'll try and earn this second one back.
Man, they call solo in the Maryland locker room. Solomon Washington now has half of Maryland's free throw attempts. And that applause here in John Paul Jones Arena is because Virginia point guard Chance Mallory is back into this game after the injury.
Checking back in there is Mallory, and like you said, Ryan, just so much heart. And it's so emphatic from his game. But here's Solomon Washington trying to get his second one at the line. Won't go. Rebound tipped everywhere. Onyenso from Virginia comes down with it. And who else other than Mallory? Onyenso with the screen. Mallory has the ball up top. Gives it off to Onyenso outside the 3-point key. In the bright shoes, Onyenso looking for colors. He will. This time he'll find Sam Lewis, who drives in, gets the little pull up at the free throw line. Not going to go. Rebounded. Washington. Diggy Coit into open territory. Finds Isaiah Watts outside. Watts got this one to go. Watts with his second attempt will rattle that one home. Watts 50% from the free throw line. Both his field goals tonight attempted have been threes. As now we have Malik Thomas, the graduate student guard out of California, driving in. He's low baseline now in the corner. Thomas trying to take George Turkson for a ride. Thomas kicks it back out. Chance Mallory up top. He's got the Christmas themed shoes on. Mallory moving inside the paint. Onyenso tries another 3 from outside. This one off back iron. Rebound Andre Mills. Now into the open court. Solomon Washington kicked out. Watts again. Corner 3, same spot. Nowhere to be found. Under the rim now rebounding. Chance Mallory again. Hobbling as he comes up with that one. Mallory crosses into the up front court. Looks like he'll find Devin Tillis in the corner. Little pump fake. Tillis gonna try again. Tillis laces it home as Virginia orange spotless in the arena. Here's Diggy Coit. Coit trying to make some moves on Devin Tillis. Tillis got his hands on Coit there, and so that one's going to be a pretty clear foul. But how about Tillis there? A big 3 as he has 9 points on the night.
Yeah, this is a Virginia offense, James, that's starting to look more and more like the ACC's leader in three-point percentage. Again, 5 threes for Virginia. 4 have come in the first half of this final second half. Finding ways to get it and build the lead up to now a game-high 11-point cushion.
And Ryan, we often see Devin Tillis as a transfer from UC Irvine, rotational player, but tonight he is leading this squad in about any metric you can imagine. So an inbound here from Miles Rice, that is. Now Diggy Coit just outside the three-point line. He's got an island on DeRitter. He's going to step back, throw up a high arcing three, and that's going to be an air ball. Save there from Saunders. And now Saunders throws it inside, and then it goes back out. Not sure who it tipped off of. The referees are trying to deliberate that right now. Still, really no sign. It looks like it may stay in Maryland's front court, so they will have the ball in scoring territory with only 7 ticks left on the shot clock. 9 minutes left in this one overall. If you're joining us on WMU Speeds, Virginia is up 51-40 over the Terps. Saunders going to drive in, look for his first points of the night. Saunders will get them. Saunders' 4th points. 2 for 3 from the field goal as Malik Thomas dumps it off to Chance Mallory. Mallory's got Miles Rice, the other 2 on him. Mallory's going to pull up from 3, his first shot since coming back from the injury. Miles Rice crosses into the front court. Rice and Mallory going head-to-head. Now here's a big 3 from Elijah Saunders, his first three-pointer from the night. Saunders starting to heat up in familiar enemy territory. Driving in is DeRitter, looking for points. DeRitter gonna get the and 1 to go. As Tess DeRitter 0 for 7 from the floor. Before that bucket, his only points were free throws. That one, he's gonna get 2 and try and earn 1 more at the free throw line.
Good play by DeRitter, showing he wouldn't be denied. Starting to use more of that 6'10 size that we've seen throughout this game.
DeRitter gonna miss that one. Looks like the rebound, though, is scrambling inside. We see Darius Adams come up with it. That's gonna be an easy foul. It appears like, I believe the foul was against Malik Thomas. Be on Grunlow, actually. A lot of bodies flying into the paint on that last rebound. Adams comes up with it, and Adams will have the ball side out, close to the Virginia bench, and also close to first-year head coach Ryan Odom, his first full season with this squad after Tony Bennett's surprise retirement. And now Miles Rice gets the inbound, takes it into front court, crosses half court quickly, and now Rice just settling things down at that Virginia logo, trying to get comfortable up there as Saunders, who's been working recently, tries to back down. DeRitter, he's got him in the low post. Kicks it back up to Miles Rice, who gets it to Darius Adams. Adams, a little shake and bake pull up. Adams with a vet move there as he shakes Virginia out of the shorts and gets the easy deuce.
It's all about confidence for Darius Adams. He looked comfortable there, now up to 9 points after the mid-range J.
And now here is Dallin Hall, who gets it off to Malik Thomas. Thomas drives in on Miles Rice. That one not going to go. A putback attempt from Grunlow, not going to go. Rebounded, and here it is. Dallin Hall will get the follow-up as Virginia is up 8, 55-47 with 7 minutes and 25 seconds left in this one. Now here is Darius Adams at the top of the key, guarded tightly there from Lewis. Off the front iron, rebounded, Solomon Washington. Back out, here's Watts, nothing but air. That's Miles Rice on that 3, actually, as in transition is Dallin Hall. He's going to throw it down. The orange crowd on its feet as the Who's go up by 10 here in Charlottesville. Here's Miles Rice looking for an ISO on Dallin Hall. He's going to get a screen, actually, from George Turkson Jr. A little in and out from Rice. Going to try and get the and 1. Drives in for 2. He's going to get fouled. He's going to the line. As we may see a timeout here, but as for now, it's Virginia at 57 and Maryland at 47. Ryan, with 6 minutes and 47 seconds left, what can both these teams do to either maintain the lead or, for Maryland's case, try and come back into this?
Yeah, for the Terps, it's just about limiting turnovers. We've heard Buzz Williams talk so much this season through a dozen games about live ball turnovers, right? So when the other team steals it away and then they get the fast break, numbers aren't back for Maryland. That's what Buzz Williams is trying to prevent. And Maryland just simply isn't doing that today. It's been 13 steals for Virginia to just 2 steals for Maryland, too many live ball turnovers, leading to a Virginia team that's now up to shooting 40%, James. That's got to stay, and for Virginia, just keep on doing that, right? Defense leading to points. That's how the Cavs are up to a 10-point lead.
All that said, Ryan, the Terps are going to have to come alive in this next 6 minutes. They don't have a lot of time left to try and get back within a 10-point winning margin, but they've played very strong in this second half, aside from those turnovers and aside from a guy named Chance Mallory, who's that hometown hero product. So looking to get back on the floor here soon as we will continue through this timeout. So far, pretty even-keeled when it comes to field goal percentage. Virginia with 40, Maryland with 36%. But Maryland outside has been pretty strong from three, shooting 40% to Virginia's 29. As for both at the free throw line, Virginia's got nearly half the attempts Maryland has and is shooting at 86%. But the leading scorers for tonight for the Terps, Darius Adams with 9 points, Diggy Coit with a team-high 10, Solomon Washington with a team-high 10 rebounds. On top of that, Washington's got 6 points as well. 6 of those 10 rebounds for Washington are offensive rebounds. He leads everybody in that statistical category tonight, as he has been a strong presence following his early ejection after the Michigan game last Saturday. So as for Maryland, shooting in the threes in the second half has been pretty strong. I think they need to just settle things down more on offense and make smart passes. And we'll see if they can make smart plays here, as we have a pretty long timeout from both these squads.
Yeah, Virginia's hovered around this double-digit cushion throughout the back 10 minutes now of this second half. Who's up 57 to 47. That lead's been as large as 11, but hasn't gone down past 10 or 9 across the last 5 minutes. So for Virginia, again, this is a really great Saturday night crowd, James, here at John Paul Jones Arena. I think the Cavaliers are finally starting to feed off that energy. A lot of orange in the stands, as you mentioned.
What surprises me as well, Ryan, is we haven't seen a lot of, there has been some defensive prowess from this Cavaliers squad, but they are third in the nation in blocks per game with 7 blocks per game. Tonight they only have 4. Haven't really been that strong. We haven't seen interior defense too strong, but some of their guys, for example, Grunlow with 1 big block, DeRitter, another big man with a block. But as for Maryland, they've had a lot of defense tonight, and they have just 1 less block than the hometown Hoos. As now the band and the fans trying to rile up and turn this double-digit lead even further in their favor. As Charlottesville fans on their feet. An early Christmas special presented by Ryan Martin and myself, James Consoli, traveled all the way here from College Park, home of the Maryland Terrapins, to give you action on this one. If you're tuning in, we'd like to thank you. It's 57 Virginia, 47 Maryland with 6 minutes and 47 seconds left, as Miles Rice is at the free throw line and brings the margin within single digits. It's now Rice gets the first free throw to go. Open for 2 for number 2. Rice so far tonight. 7 points for Miles Rice as he laces the second free throw through the net. A substitution will come in for the aforementioned Rice, as Diggy Coit is back on the floor. Inbounding here for Virginia will be Dallin Hall. Gets it off to Jakari White. Back to Hall as they just now cross front court thanks to White. Hall has it back up top, just playing a little like Mike. Here's Grunlow on the key, sets a little screen. Finds DeRitter up top. DeRitter outside the three-point line, as well as Dallin Hall. Double screens there from DeRitter and Greenlow as Hall drives in. Another nifty inside layup for the graduate student. Averages 5 points per game is Hall, but tonight he's got 14 of those. It's a little bit more than 5. As now he'll be guarding Diggy Coit as he crosses into the open floor. Elijah Saunders up top, the former Virginian. Diggy Coit gets an ISO on Hall. Coit it's been pretty quiet since those early threes to start off the second half. Is Darius Adams going to have to heave up something here? Hits everything but the hoop, and the front of it that being as that one runs out of bounds. And Virginia, another strong defensive stand there, as Maryland just seems to be ticking away, but are they going to say that this was tipped maybe, Ryan, and that before going out of bounds?
It was, yeah.
So this will stay with Maryland, but they have 1.8 seconds left on the shot clock. Solomon Washington going to heave up a corner three and hit nothing but air, and Desmond DeRitter's fingertips. Test DeRitter's fingertips, that is, as now we'll see. Pretty familiar sight as Dallin Hall inbounds and now plays back and forth with Jakari White. Gets it back to Hall's hands. Hall crosses up top. Hall going to try and pull up three. Why not? Hall's got it there. As how he brings the lead to 13 points here in Charlottesville, Virginia. And here's a steal. Looking for it is Jakari White. Blocked at the rim by the former who? That's Elijah Saunders. A safe play there from Saunders as now Diggy Quick crosses into open floor. Gonna find Darius Adams, who cannot seem to find the front side of the hoop. That one hits the top of the hoop, and this one should have been Maryland's ball, but it looks like there may have been a foul on the floor, which will keep the ball in Maryland's offensive court.
Yeah, just like the first half, James, whistles after whistles here in the second half. I think you're right. It would have been the top of the basket out of bounds for Darius Adams, but before that can even come into effect, it's Virginia who picks up its 6th team foul. That one will go against Sam Lewis.
So those 6 team fouls could play a big factor in this game if things get closer. There's Miles Rice on the inbound, finds Darius Adams up top. Adams, a freshman for this Terp squad. And Adams with another turnover there. Dallin Hall's going to drive in. He's been their guy tonight as he gets fouled in open floor, but they didn't allow him to continue that.
So that was Hall who was in transition. Miles Rice grabs Hall's left hip by the jersey, purposely trying to slow him down. That is about as clear of a clear path foul as you can get, and that's going to be the call. So it's going to be Hall for Virginia shooting free throws, James, before the Cavaliers get the ball back. I don't want to say lazy for Miles Rice, but maybe it's just Virginia getting the steal, being too quick that Rice has nothing else to do but besides trying to maybe get away with that clear path foul, he doesn't. And Hall goes to the line with Virginia up by a game-high 13.
A frustration foul, I like to call that one, especially for Miles Rice, uncommon for that guy, but Hall is going to try and earn it back at the line. He has been everything seamless tonight for this Virginia squad, just being a big glue guy, but also, you know, this is a guy that is coming off just typically averaging about just under 6 points per game. Shoots well from the free throw line at 82%, but he's leading this squad in points tonight, and he tacks on another one there as Dallin Hall's got 19 points tonight, a team high. And Ryan, I think in the talk before this, you know, we talked about some of their big guys, right, dominating Maryland's low post players like Grunlow or DeRitter, but I don't know if we expected Dallin Hall to be a demon for Maryland's backcourt tonight.
Dallin Hall's only averaging about 5 points, 2 rebounds per game. He's been someone who's really come alive up to 19.
So who else is going to get the ball in the corner other than Dallin Hall off the inbound from Lewis? Hall's going to try a little pump fake. Hall finds inside. It's DeRitter. That one's blocked, but it looks like a foul. So it looks like DeRitter is going to go to the line. That's Hall, though, too. He's a guy that leads this team in assists and assists per game. Obviously, this is a guy with 4 assists tonight.
Yeah, great point by you. Both on the would-be assist for Hall, and then the call against Solomon Washington. Testa Ritter goes up for it. Would have been another poster. Instead, it's a Washington block, then foul.
As DeRitter's first free throw will go off the back iron. Really just hasn't been himself tonight. This is a guy that we usually see dominating every part of the floor. He's 1 for 8 from the field. 2 for 4 from the free throw line, too. That being only 4 points as Elijah Saunders will sub back in as boos echo from the crowd. George Turkson Jr. going to be subbed out for Maryland. Here's DeRitter's second attempt. That one he laces home. He's 3 for 5 from the line tonight. As that will give him his 5th point of the night as Miles Rice give the inbound to Washington, get it right back for himself, guarded tightly from Jakari White. He beats him in the open floor. Miles Rice, a little step back. Rice rips that one home as Maryland trying to bring this lead to within single digits. And so now Virginia 65, Maryland 52. 4.5 minutes left to go in this one. As a little cornet contest there from Elijah Saunders on Grunlow, Johan Grunlow. Is be a foul on the floor there. It's like Diggy Coit's third foul of tonight, and that one's going to be on the floor. So now DeRitter headed back to the line, looking to pad some more numbers at the line as he won't get the first one because it's 1-1. That's all there will be held as Miles Rice gets into the open floor on Lewis. Has an ISO on DeRitter. Gets fouled, hit in the face. No doubt about that one. I think the Cavaliers are still going to doubt that, at least the fans here, Ryan. So now we see that foul on DeRitter. That will be DeRitter's third personal foul of the night. And so now a team high 7. I think another relook at that Jumbotron view we have here at John Paul Jones Arena. As Miles Rice will get the first of 1-1. Coming in is Devin Tillis, who has been leading this squad in points as well. DeRitter goes to the bench. Tillis comes back out there, and he had 9 points leading this squad for a while with 4 for 4 from the field as the only person that's been shooting 100%, as well as Dallin Hall, who's 8 for 8 from the field. A performance all across the board that just looks flawless. Ryan has 2 for 2 from the line. He's 1 for 1 from outside. He's 8 for 8 from the field. He's almost got 20 points. He's going to be in some press releases come tomorrow.
Yeah, he's made all 10 of his shots, not to mention his season high with those 19 points for the former BYU Cougar.
Dallin Hall, spoken about. High terms, obviously, and high praise. Will get the ball. Now crossing half court. Now Jakari White has it. Guarded by Miles Rice. Looks like a screen from Grunlow. He's going to get it. Jakari White's going to have as clean of a look as you can get. And White's going to splash it home, standing in the face of Rice as Virginia goes up by 14 with 4 minutes remaining. Miles Rice looking for the inbound. This one takes a little bit longer than it should. Great hustle there from Chance Mallory. As it looks like we're going to get a timeout. As for Virginia, 68. Maryland, 54 with 3 minutes and 55 seconds left here in Charlottesville, Virginia. We'll be back here in just a moment after the timeout with some more coverage on WMUC Sports.
Don't forget to catch the first radio show on 97.5 for your radio. And AM 1070 or FM 98.9 WILS. You can also tune in on the Virginia Sports.
Hey, yo, I'm here with King Henry and the crew here. They don't know who wants a free t-shirt, so make some noise!
back here in Charlottesville, Virginia, as it's under 4 minutes remaining in this one. Maryland gonna try and mount a very late comeback, but that guy on the Jumbotron, Dallin Hall, number 30 for Virginia, has been given Maryland, I guess whatever you want to call it, but he has been giving them as much and more than they can handle with 19 points. As Miles Rice gets the inbound here, Terps have possession. Crossing into enemy territory is Rice. Finds Solomon Washington off on the key now. Rice gets it back, finds Andre Mills cutting inside. Mills gonna try and throw something up. Mills with an acrobatic shot as he'll get that one, bringing Virginia's lead to 12. On Chance Mallory, the hometown hero for Virginia, with just over 3.5 minutes left. Mallory gets a little screen from Grunlow, who's gonna find back outside. Jakari White drives inside, he's got baseline. Now finding Mallory up top. Now here's Dallin Hall, the hero for tonight. Hall gets a screen from Grunlow. Takes Elijah Saunders on an island. Finds Chance Mallory out on the wing. Mallory gonna drive inside. Little finger roll from the hometown hero as Mallory gets his first points of the night.
Misses for 7 shots, but then got those 6 assists, 5 steals, and now finally adds a field goal.
So Miles Rice crosses half court. Finds Solomon Washington at the top of the key. Not the best shot from Washington, but a foul on the floor. Let's see if this one will go against Virginia or Maryland. Looks like it'll go against Maryland's Elijah Saunders, who was formerly Virginia's Elijah Saunders.
Yeah, it was really interesting to hear what Saunders said about that move, right? He enters the portal after Tony Bennett's surprise retirement, thought about coming back to Virginia under Ryan Odom, ultimately picks Buzz Williams, who he said is very comparable to Tony Bennett. Both guys who will talk to their players a ton, but almost always lead with something that's not basketball. Talking about building men before players. Tony Bennett did it last season for Elijah Saunders here in Charlottesville. He's found that same energy that Buzz Williams has in College Park.
A lot of high praise for a guy that brought this school their first national championship, as now Dallin Hall back at the line, hoping to eclipse 20-point mark. He will get that tonight. And Dallin Hall leads all scorers with 20 points and has just been cooking 8 for 8 from the field goal. Now Hall still undefeated from the free throw line. Of course, the announcer jinx there. I'm sorry, Dallin Hall. Your first miss of the night will come from the free throw line, unexpectedly too, for a guy who shoots the best on the team with 82%. As now we have a score check at 71-56. Virginia is up by 15 with just under 3 minutes remaining here in Charlottesville, Virginia. Little Christmas, early Christmas special, we call it, December 20th. Ryan Martin, James Consoli. Grunlow has a 1-and-1 attempt for Virginia, misses at the first free throw. And so now it'll be Maryland's ball, rebounded there. Given to Diggy Coit for Maryland. Coit gonna have to drive in and heave something up quickly. Coit doesn't have much time remaining. Just 15 seconds left on the shot clock, and they need to make a move quick. Devin Tillis guarding. Dallin Hall guarding now as the ball goes to Andre Mills. Given to Elijah Saunders in the corner, who's doubled, who finds a beautiful cross-court pass. Here's Isaiah Watts, gonna have to pull up. Watts, a little step back. Watts, a deuce. Watts, a big shot as Maryland gets to 58. Will be a 2 there for Watts, but beautiful attempt there, and good to see if you're head coach Buzz Williams. Here's Dallin Hall driving in. A couple nifty moves here. A little bump on Coit. Finds Grunlow inside. Grunlow with a baby hook. And not so much of a baby hook for the 7-footer. As he gets that one, as there's 2 minutes left remaining in this one, as Virginia is up by 15. Here's Coit. They got it across half court. Familiar face for Virginia. Number 8 in Maryland. As an ISO. This one on Chance Mallory. Coit, a little step back on Mallory, giving it back to him. Coit, nothing but net. As that one brings us to within 12. This game is not over yet. There's 90 seconds left in this one. Chance Mallory up top, guarded Coit. Maybe he's going to try and give it back to him. Coit tries to fight the screen from Grunlow. Can't be able to do it. Mallory has an open deuce at the top of the key. Trades Coit with bucket there.
Might be the dagger here for Virginia.
And now Solomon Washington guarded by Grunlow. Grunlow giving him a lot of space, but Washington still dumps it off to Andre Mills, guarded by Jakari White, who's caught flame in the second half. Foul there off the screen. Looks like it'll be on Jakari White, who was trying to fight off that screen as mentioned.
set the line there for that one because of the bonus, but misses it, so only his first free throw and his last. As now a foul on the floor, looks like off the Solomon Washington rebound. May stay in Maryland territory. Another foul on Chance Mallory, his third of the night. I think Coach Odom can let that slide, being that Mallory has more steals than fouls. Been pretty strong on that defensive end, but as for the Terps, they're headed back to the line. It's Chance Mallory. Solomon Washington at the line. Chance Mallory fouled. He's going to get the first one. First one for the Terps in a while to be able to see the second free throw in that one-on-one opportunity. Washington looking to net the second with just over a minute left in this match. Washington won't get the second, but a rebound from Elijah Saunders. Given back out to Watts. Watts! Why wasn't he in earlier, Watts? It's another three as Virginia and Maryland 10-point lead for the Hoos as they cross quickly into the front court. 50 seconds remaining in this one. Virginia up 10, 75-65. Here's Devin Tillis, maybe looking to ice this one off and close it for good. He's fouled up top. Fouled by Andre Mills, his first of the night, and now 10. Looks like they're in the double bonus. Virginia one foul away from giving Maryland that same privilege.
As Maryland picked up the foul, James, after it was Virginia just tried to run up the clock, tried to inch off these precious few seconds after it's going to be looking like a double-digit win possibly for Virginia. I think you look at this game, again, 42 seconds, Virginia up 75-65. You miss a presence like Pharrell Payne. To see Dylan Hall have a season-high 20 points, 7 of his 8 field goals came inside the arc. They miss a presence like Payne defensively.
Devin Tillis, a rare sighting there as he misses both free throws. He was 100% coming into the game from the free throw line as we're going to see a timeout from head coach Buzz Williams. They're down by 10, but they're not giving up yet. A valiant effort from the Maryland squad, traveling over 2.5 hours to get here in Charlottesville and not trying to give up so early and head back.
Yeah, I think, James, you look at this timeout from head coach Buzz Williams. This is a reminder, this is game 12 of over 30 that Maryland will play this season. Only the second true road trip that Maryland has when you factor in that season opening win against Coppin State in Baltimore. So for Maryland, there's still a lot to figure out, still a lot to work through for this Terps team that will have one final non-conference game. Maryland hosts Old Dominion in 8 days. You got a long rest, you got Christmas and the holidays coming up for this break that's over a week long. I think Buzz Williams wants to see something positive in this final 37 seconds to then spend the 8 days, spend the post-Christmas and post-holiday feeling, thinking about, we might have had a loss to Virginia. It was in Charlottesville, and we did something in that final minute that we took away that was good and progressive for this team. So I think that's all factoring into his decision to call this timeout right now for a Maryland team that's about to fall to 500 on the season.
Details do matter for Buzz Williams. I think you have that exactly right, Ryan. He's just trying to improve every week. Obviously, coming in tonight, knowing that they're not going to have a guy like Pharrell Payne, their dominant presence, averaging over 17 points per game, over 7 rebounds per game. Pharrell Payne's a guy who leads. He's 9th in the Big Ten in points, 9th in rebounds per game, 3rd in field goal percentage, 3rd in free throws made, 4th in offensive rebounds per game. Literally any stat you can think of, he's probably top 10 in across the Big Ten. And so not having a guy like that and still keeping it within single-digit margin, having a couple leads throughout this game, it's not all bad for the red and black. But as for tonight, there's 35 seconds left on this clock. Here's Diggy Coit scanning the floor. Going to find Watts up top. Coit, little pump fake. Coit going to drive in. Looks like another foul there on Chance Mallory, who's picked up a couple in the last couple of minutes. Chance Mallory's 4th personal foul of tonight. As looks like Maryland will head back to the line. Now we have double bonus for both squads. Coit, team's best free throw shooter at the line right now. He's a guy that came off a 31-point, 3-assist outing versus Michigan, number 2 in the nation. As Coit will get that first free throw. And get the second.
Now just down by 8 with 29.6 seconds left on the clock. There's Lewis, and on Yenso, a feed inside, a dunk, maybe to cap this one off. Gets the lead back to double digits with just over 20 seconds remaining in this one. Here's Andre Mills and Maryland in the front court. Diggy Coit tries a little drive, a shovel pass out to Elijah Saunders. Saunders with a corner 3 to cut things back to single digits. 7-point lead for the Cavaliers. And now looking to cross half court. Looks like we are not going to get a timeout. That looks like that was a foul in the open floor, so somebody will head to the free throw line. Coach Buzz Williams and his squad needed a foul at some point, so they're going to choose to do it now. It appears that it will be Devin Tillis who's going back to the line for the Hoos. Tillis, so strong tonight for this squad. But as for his last free throw outing, he was 0 for 2. Tillis off front iron. .12 seconds remaining in this one. Virginia 77, Maryland 70. Devin Tillis will shoot his second free throw at the line. He makes it. Brings the lead to 8. Coit crosses into the front court. Diggy Coit from Maryland finds Solomon Washington at the top of the key. Washington gonna drive in. Gets the easy dunk deuce as he will foul immediately entering back in. Chance Mallory from Virginia will go to the line. And this Charlottesville, Virginia faithful crowd is pretty upset. They just want this game to be over, I think, Ryan, as Virginia's up 6, now headed back to the line. Buzz Williams and Maryland will not let the heartbeat drop.
Yeah, really just extending this game, extending how long the buses have to wait before that bus trip from Charlottesville to College Park. Maryland showing some fight. Again, this is less than a third of the way through Maryland's season.
Chance Mallory gets that first free throw. Brings his team 1 point away from eclipsing the 80-point mark tonight. They've averaged 87 points per game in this offensive resurgence under Odom. So can the true freshman, Mallory, bring them to 80? He will, with 4.8 seconds left to go in this one. Darius Adams crosses over half court on Lewis. Adams gonna pull up from 3. Adams off the back iron as Virginia will take this one in Charlottesville. For the first time in 8 years, these two teams have faced off. Virginia Cavaliers 80, Maryland Terrapins 72. Traveling back in for this historic resurged rivalry that we will see for coming years, Ryan, as the last time these two teams played was more of an ACC showdown since Maryland left the Big Ten. But tonight, Virginia takes it home in Charlottesville as an early Christmas present over the visiting Maryland Terrapins.
James, you go back to the end of that first half for me, and Maryland's up 19-11. All of a sudden, Virginia scores 13 straight points to close out the first half. Hoos take a 5-point lead into halftime, and that's a stretch that I think you go back to if you're Buzz Williams and say, you know, we went into locker rooms scoring 0 of the final 13 points in the first half. It's hard to come back from that because you knew Virginia was going to find it out shooting-wise, right? The ACC's leader in three-point percentage. Virginia was going to figure it out, and that's exactly what the Cavaliers did in the second half, shooting 64%, close to 55% from behind the arc, 6 for 11 shooting threes in the second half. Hoos bring on an 8-point win here, move to 10-1 on the season, while Maryland drops to 6-6 ahead of the final non-conference game in over a week's time. Maryland shows some good things, but at the end of the day, there's a reason why Virginia's a ranked opponent. It was always going to figure it out, and it did in the second half.
And as for Maryland, Ryan, I don't think it's all bad for the red and black. Coming into this visiting territory, they don't have a single 7-footer who was playing tonight. And on their lineup, they still were able to eclipse more rebounds than the Virginia Cavaliers in Charlottesville. 41-34 was the last rebound check between both these squads. And so for the Terps headed forward, it's not all bad. They do prove that they have guys down low that can go up, grab the ball with dominance, and take it back up. We saw that tonight on display. Maryland had the lead a couple times. As for Virginia, they're going to end up coming away with this one with an 8-point lead, an 8-point win here as an early present for the Hoos. And so with all that being said, thank you for joining us on WMUC Radio
going to say, too, just a thank you, too, for being in Charlottesville. It was such a cool experience that I had. I wouldn't have wanted to made this trip with anyone else besides you, my friend. And great to be here at a historic John Paul Jones Arena. 185th time these two teams have matched up. It's an honor and a privilege to not only be here, but be here with you and make this trip down to Charlottesville.
Love it. Thank you, Ryan Martin. Alongside Ryan Martin, I'm James Consoli, and I think we're just having a lot of fun here at John Paul Jones Arena. Both of our first times being here, and I think this was a pretty eventful matchup between these both squads. Maryland put up a valiant effort, but Virginia able to cap it off in Charlottesville, the first time in this storied rivalry in about 8 years. So we thank you all for tuning in on WMUC Sports Radio. For Ryan Martin and everybody else tuning into our broadcast, I'm James Consoli, capping it off for the night. And